Good morning, or good afternoon, good evening. Great to be here. I hope to have many people join, but I'm going to have to trust that my co-founder partner, Khalib, is going to indicate when you guys have messages by showing them on the screen. For those who are unfamiliar, my name is David Muir. I am a co founder of Island Space Caribbean Museum, and I am thrilled to be here to talk a little bit about who we are and what we do, and hopefully inspire some of you who are watching or in the space at this time to want to get involved. And involvement can take many different shapes, but tonight specifically is about Give Miami. And today is Give Miami Day, as seen by the graphic on the screen. And look, there is, I believe, Khalib is in the live as well as I am. Welcome, Khalib. Um, yeah, so we are the two beautiful, crazy people who founded Island Space, and then we, along with our board and with all of the wonderful volunteers and staff, have been able to grow for 5 years and to have now what I like to call a thriving facility that has done so much tremendous work. Again, you know, how do I say this best? Island Space, if you've never been, is a magical place. It is a place where we are celebrating Caribbean culture. And Caribbean culture to us, oh, look at this. We have B roll in the background. This is nice. Um,
Right.
but Caribbean culture to us is anything from our people, anything from all the various languages, as well as to really the people of the region. And I say region meaning anybody in South America, Central America, and within the Caribbean Sea. Once your country touches the Caribbean Sea, you are essentially eligible to be considered Caribbean, but you have to want it. You have to know that that's who you are. And so we are thrilled to welcome all people who consider themselves Caribbean, and we are celebrating you at the museum. And as the B roll is showing you, we have had some amazing Cuban performers from, oh my gosh, look at Frankie Red, and like there's so much great stuff from the poetry, the art exhibitions, um, and I
You,
don't want to just focus on the programming. It's just the fact that we have a place that we can come and see the artifacts. The Go ahead, Khalib. I see itching to share.
you have no man. You have so much to talk about because the museum really is an amazing space. And for those who have not been there yet, we invite you to come to the museum. But as you said, today is about Give Miami Day. I had a question today from a lady who visited the museum for the first time. She's the editor of or one of the writers for Edible Magazine, and she asked the question. She said, "Why?" She said, "You seem like you know a lot about the museum. Why did you start this?" And I know my answer, but what is your answer? Why was it important for you to be a part of starting this place?
Boy, Khalib, it's unfair. I think you're more the ones who sees that vision as to why we started. I'm more someone who wants to do things. I want to achieve. I want to help something become reality, to actualize. So there's a part of my spirit that's about manifesting things that should be possible. And it's definite for me that a big part of why I fought to make it possible was that island space, the concept, should have been in existence many decades before we started it. And for me, that was all I needed to feel and to know that there needed to be a place where we could all congregate, where we could see our worth, to see the heritage on display, to see and celebrate some of the great champions, and then to create new champions. Because just because of the existence of Island Space,
Right.
look at all the people who are now working with us. Look at the type of impact that we have from someone like, say, a Commissioner Hazel Rogers, who is a county commissioner in Broward County right now. But to see her championing what we're doing
Right.
makes me know that just by being in existence, we're creating new champions for the Caribbean, people who will be talked about many, many years to come about look at what they did through the museum, look at what was achieved as a result of being a part of this um, place that celebrates a very important people.
And
So
if you're
that's kind of my
watching,
why. Go ahead.
yeah, if you're watching right now, I want to just encourage you to in the comments. We like to engage the people who are watching. Please just comment as well why you in particular are a supporter of Island Space. If you haven't given to Give Miami Day, given it to us through Give Miami Day yet, please do. We're asking for at least $25. It's islandspacefl.org/Give Miami Day, and it will take you right to the GMD page. But if you're watching, I like to pop up the comments and the questions on the screen. So, let us know why it's important for you to be a part of Island Space, or how you have supported the museum and just Caribbean culture in general, whether it's just because you like David, or
What a reason.
I know some of that is there, but I'll tell you, for me, coming into this country from Jamaica, you grow up in Jamaica, you hear you're a Caribbean person. Oh yeah, I'm Caribbean, I'm Caribbean. I didn't know, I knew what a Trinidadian accent sounded like. I didn't know the difference between how Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and Cuban people speak or sound or communicate. I didn't know what Haitian Creole was. I'd never met a Haitian person. So coming into this country and kind of being immersed in all of these various cultures was a culture shock, but it was a good culture shock. You always hear me talk about going to the Cuban restaurant the first time and wondering what the hell going on, because the rice and the peas in two different, in two different containers.
I
And
hear that.
and so being exposed to this breadth of cultures was an amazing thing to me, and the fact that we can do that every day at Island Space. You go to Carnival, which we love, is one day or 1 week out of the year. You got a Jerk Festival. It's a lot of Jamaican thing, but you get some multicultural elements, is one day out of the year. Caribbean American Heritage Month, 1 month out of the year, and you can hop and skip and jump to various things. But we do it every single day, and that's what makes it so important to me, I think.
Yeah, and there are other things that make it important to me, Khalib. I think that recognizing, and it's funny, I think there was a post that was on Island Space Instagram, might have been yesterday or today, where I was seeing, or you may have shared it in a group chat, where there was this description of how the Haitian community impacted Louisiana and that whole area. And I think it's so important that we know these histories. Like, at the end of the day, we truly don't speak enough about the impact the Caribbean people have had on the culture of America and
Yeah.
on the culture of the world. And that's a big part of why I love the why there is a need to continue to do the work through Island Space Caribbean Museum. And the fact is that we've been open for 5 years, and sure, we've touched thousands of people, but then there are millions who have not been touched. And
Yeah.
I think the work is so important and needs to be done, and we have to continue to, make that outreach, make those first impressions, and to inform people about how important the people from the Caribbean have been to the world at large in so many cultural ways, not just the ones that people tend to celebrate the most, which might be music and sport, but there are so many other parts of intellectual properties and just uplifting of the world that we have been a part of that people don't recognize because they were not told. The history was not shared.
And as you're talking about music and sport, I mean, you go into the museum and those things are there as well. The intellectual part is there, but the music is there, the sport is there, the history is there, the economies, the politics, the ancient days, the modern days. All of it is there at the museum, as well as we bring contemporary issues and conversations and whatever to the museum. Every month you come there, there's a Consul General's Distinguished Lecture Series. There is some kind of vendor program. There's an author speaking.
Fireside chat. so many just wonderful nuggets of just great things that again, not to focus on programming, but we do so much good programming. It's hard not to always lean back on programming. Tell us, or maybe we should try to show what does the museum look like currently at
Hmm.
7:15 on a Thursday evening,
Let's
if possible. So
see.
this is a little glimpse into the space that is currently um, opening up for an event which is taking place this evening. And so we have the chairs laid out. We have people already starting to be seated. We can see parts of the displays. And if possible, I don't know how much we get to, yeah, get a full 360 if we can. And so here we are looking now at some of the other art on the wall, artifacts in the cases. And so this is wonderful. Thanks, Stephanie, for helping to give us that live view. Um,
And you know what
walking.
I love about her doing this, David? The artwork. People come in sometimes and they say, "Oh, the museum doesn't update or whatever." The artwork in the museum is updated every 3 or 4 months or so. And right now,
Correct.
there's a gentleman named Guy Beckles. He's a Trinidadian artist, and his work is kinetic art. So if you go in there, every piece of art that's on the wall in his collection is moving. If you walk past it, you're going to see a little man spinning a widget, or a couple kissing and then not kiss and then fighting. He has all of these very interesting, moving parts and pieces. I think Stephanie's bringing us over to, one of
One
the
of
ones.
his,
Yeah.
definitely.
And
One,
unfortunately, you can't see it in too much detail because the connection seems to be weak. But you see all of the stuff moving in the case. Once you go in there, the things just start moving on their own. It's amazing.
absolutely. And while we're here, Stephanie, if you can hear me, I love that we can see those donor patches on the wall.
Mm.
I was told again today, Khalid, when I was asking, and somebody gave an extra $100 today, but they have been saying that I need to collect a check. They want to give a check to put them on the wall. And
Mm.
they actually said if they put them on the wall, then the check will come even faster. So um, but there are people and companies that wish to be in this area of our thanking wall,
Yes.
and they need us to connect with them to collect the check to get their placement. So
Wonderful.
it's a good reminder. Ahava is the company, and Andrea Service, and her company has repeatedly I said we just need to collect the check. So today she gave I shouldn't give her her money, but she gave to us in Give Miami Day. But she did comment to David, you still haven't collected that check to put me on the wall. So put the company on the wall, I should say. So
All
I
right.
was I was told to contact her husband for the check, Tadmar, so we can get them on the wall.
So for those who do want to be on the wall, and we just spoke today about doing an update because it's a manual process to get people up after they've donated. If you have done a minimum of $500, you would be in the section with the smaller tiles, and then I think it's 5,000 is the next tier up, and so on and so on. So um, over here you're seeing the welcome wall, and there's so many elements in the museum that just connect us with home. And we just invite everybody to come and see all these dolls. I shared the story today when we started the museum and we said we are going to be in the mall. I was thinking, David, that we would go and get some, the traditional costumes from the various Caribbean countries, the madras and the andros fabric and whatever, batiks and so on, and put mannequins in the wall, in the window with
Right.
all the various. And we never got to do it. So when the doll collection started coming in, I was like, yeah, man, I still get my costumes and things. So
Hmm.
these are lovely ways that everyone can kind of feel represented in the museum. But I'm actually going to take Stephanie and the museum back out of, oh, where did we go? All right. um, Back out of the equation. So it's me and you here now, but it seems like we have another guest. I love when we have visitors. Look at
Who
this.
Good
knows?
evening. Good
Jesus,
evening. Yes. Island Space Caribbean Museum. How's it going?
it's going great. Thanks for
Pretty good.
joining, G.
Yes,
G,
I'm at an event. I stepped in to make sure you get some Give Miami Day love.
Yeah.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
And I just want to give you one quick question to comment on, G. So you have been there from the very beginning when we were planning and starting, and you brought in your own family artifacts, things that you gave from your dad's collection and from yours, and so on. And you've been a regular contributor. What would you say is the most meaningful part of Island Space to you? And then you can go back to your event. Give us a
Yeah.
perspective. What's most meaningful to you?
I would say the space that you've created, the safe space you've created for celebrating Caribbean folks to archive and honor what we our contributions and to have a place for us to be in person. I really appreciate that as well. In this online world, it's great that we can be all the social media, all this stuff. We're online right now, but to be able to go in person. And also I love that as a very proud Jamaican, I have really come to a next level of connecting with other Caribbean cultures and celebrating, our Haitian siblings and our Bahamian and everybody in our in our Caribbean cultures. So as much as we want to be like Jamaica, 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 yes, but really Caribbean, 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 and I love that.
Thank you,
So
G.
yeah, I wanted to thank you and Cleveland, everybody, your board, everybody who has done such hard work. I know y'all are working so hard to keep this going. The Caribbean Museum is growing, growing fast. You've supported our community. I really appreciate that. And I didn't give a lot today, but I gave the island space. And I want to ask people out there, you could give any amount, and every single dollar counts, right? Every mickle make a muckle.
Every mickle. One cocoa full basket.
One cocoa full basket. So I'm gonna jump back up, but I want to give you all some Give Miami Day love.
Thank
This
you
is
so
people's
much.
for. Oh,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome, and
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Bless
G. Thanks for joining.
you, man. Yeah, man. Lovely. And,
Yeah,
and
man.
and it's nice to hear from other people in the community, especially those who have been there with us from the beginning, seeing, when we were sweeping out the cockroaches at the original location. Who I saw on Sunday, which was our rum cake and Caribbean Black Cake Festival. I saw Kessie. I don't know if you remember
Of
Kessie, who
course.
was
Yeah,
the
it was the contractor, the female contractor.
she was the contractor at our first location over at when we were in the Red Robin space at Broward Mall. And when I tell you, Kessie gave us the best deal ever. I don't think she made any money, but she made sure that the space was built out well and that we had what we needed to ensure that the space really represented us well. So we're appreciative to her, to G, to everybody. Even CG, Oliver Muir was, there with us at the very beginning. You can see pictures of him kind of licking, bumping fists with us before the doors were even open, when we just got the keys and all that kind of back in the days, 5 years ago at this point.
Right? Well, and even before the 5 years, because sure been over 5 years, but it took us months to get everything
The-
sorted out. So it was not, it wasn't immediate. It took time.
Right.
Interestingly enough, I do know that when I got the briefing for tonight, I was being told by Christina, thank you so much for helping Christina, one of our board members, to reference our, sort of the mission of the museum. And I don't know that I memorize it well enough to speak it like that, but I would tell you that for me, the whole idea that whether it says that we exist to illuminate and celebrate and preserve, this whole idea of being Caribbean, I'm just like G was insinuating a while ago, I'm so proud to be Caribbean, like, and it almost makes no sense to say just because of where you were born, but it's
Yeah.
not because of where I was born, it's because of the people of the culture, that how you are trained to
Hmm.
be as a person of Caribbean descent.
Right.
That is really the goal. So you will have people who are not even born in the Caribbean, like my children, who are not all born in the Caribbean. Some of them are born in America. and they still carry Caribbean culture within them. So it's more than where you are born. It's how you've been trained to be, to think, to act, to celebrate, to love other people, and that is so important to me. I feel like it's just gold to be someone who has this in your culture where you love people in this particular way.
And you know, I'm going to pop on things like the Mango Festival
Oh, for
and
sure.
like why not playing?
Because it's
What happened?
technology want to be tricky and troublesome.
Oh my
That's
Oh, I don't want this one. I want Mango Festival. There we go. All right.
oh,
Sorry.
oh,
But you know, I like to show these videos because when you talk about our culture and how we function as a community, one of the things I love about Island Space is when people walk in there, all of a sudden it becomes theirs, right? They talk about our space and and we need to, and I love that, right? It's not mine. I used to hear every now and again, I'd hear, oh, you know, Khalib, your thing and your place and whatever. It's not mine. It's not, we didn't build it
yeah.
for me and you.
It's ours. Yeah, it's ours as in the people's ours. Yeah,
And when people come there for events like, well, they can't come for Mango Festival anymore because we've outgrown the space. They can't come for Rum Cake because we've outgrown the space. But, you know, when people have come there for these events or the Consul General's Distinguished Lecture Series or whatever other events and programs, David, when you talk about the programs that take place there, there's a feeling of camaraderie. Everybody comes in and they feel like family. People don't want to leave. We have to turn off the light and turn off the music and thing before people leave the museum. And it's not because we're giving them any free food or anything like that. They just like the vibes inside the space and you feel like family. There's always somebody for you to have a conversation with, whether you know them or not. Right? An old friend or a
absolutely.
new friend.
That's good.
And
Go ahead.
And a beautiful thing as well is that now that we have outgrown the museum with these signature, what we call the signature events, Mango and Reggae Genealogy and you know whatever, we now bring those out into the community. And it's not just bringing a party out into the community. You're learning about culinary culture. You're learning about holiday festivities, right? We had Jamaican Junkono. This is the first time I'm seeing Jamaican Junkono in the United States. David, I don't know if you had seen it before performed anywhere in the United States.
No, not really. What is along the lines of what you're saying, and I know that time is running short for us. But
Mhm.
Khalid, like what's always most somewhat I don't know most shocking, somewhat shocking. It is when I go places and people have said they've never been to the museum. Even
Mhm.
for example, just this past weekend we were at our festival, at our event, and people were coming in and we're talking with them because I was, welcoming people at the front, and there were so many people who had never been to the museum, but they were
Right.
there for the rum cake festival. So here it is. They're attending the rum cake festival, and they'd never been to the museum, and they were participating in an event programmed by our work. Obviously, this is not an event that we started on our own. It's a event, and here you go with some b-roll of, oh my gosh, that's so unfair.
It was
But
a taste today. It was a taste today.
oh
Mhm.
yeah, but just this whole idea that we have created something that now is our communities, and there are people who are impacted, participating, and yet even haven't come to what G said, which is the actual space. But they're
Right.
just so able to now participate in Caribbean culture even outside of the museum. That's we have the fact that we have now expanded ourselves to
Right.
impact more people in that way is part of why people should be giving. We're not talking about the giving. People, we need more people to give, and it doesn't matter. I know Kelly Black said we should encourage people to give 500 and 1,000, and we
Mm.
want those things. But if you are someone who all you can afford today is $25, we will take it. I
And be
remember,
grateful for it.
yes.
Absolutely. Mhm.
Oh, and we're extremely grateful. And we are extremely, how do we say, careful with how we steward your monies. It's not like you give and then we are in any way, we're still being ultra conservative with how we spend the money. because we want to get the most bang for the bucks that we spend. So when we are programming, we're begging continuously for people to give even of their services and so on, so that we can hold on the best way to the funds we have received from people like you who are giving, so that we can exist and continue to do this work for a long time. I think that is a very important thing for people to understand, that we are very careful with the money that we receive, so that we are able to continue to give this programming and the space to be available for a long, 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 long time ahead of us.
I'm gonna ask you. David said that I do like to ask for the 500s and the thousand, because my mother always says to me, or said to me, bless her, rest her soul, said to me that a closed mouth never gets fed. So I am happy to always ask for what it is that we need, and it's not a want at this point. This year, you may know that the arts took a big hit. um, when our president got into office, he decided that certain things were not as important or prioritized. And I learned a new word. They de-obligated themselves from fulfilling even the funds that they had committed already to us and to other nonprofit arts organizations in particular. And I believe what we do is important. Certainly, hurricane relief, very important. There are people who are not, have no roof over their head, or whatever have you. Food insecurity, very important. Homelessness, very important. For those of us who live day to day and still live in a home, you still need to feed your soul as well. There still needs to be a place where we can go and feel enriched at a spiritual level. And so I will never want anybody to take away what they're giving to something else that is very worthy and important. But consider feeding your soul, and consider feeding the soul of your community. Consider the fact that when your kids come for a field trip, or your grandparents or your parents come and connect with the things that they used to see as a child, so they know that their history is not being forgotten, their legacy is not forgotten. All of those things are the things that you come to see at Island Space. And if you don't give this $25 or this $500 or this $1,000 or whatever it is that you can afford, it goes away. Sometimes we're literally paying the bills out of our pocket because we need those dollars to make sure that the lights stay on, that the bills are paid, that things continue. So I see some donations coming in for some hundreds and some 50s and some 25s and some 250s. Whatever you can do, we thank you. We're grateful to you. You'll get a nice email from us at the end of this that says thank you, and please come visit us at Island Space. And David, this is your show, really. So let me
Well,
give you the last 2 minutes.
it's never my show. It's definitely about us, and I thank you for all you contribute. Listen, and this is something that people need to understand. I think it is really, really important that we say this out loud. Like, I love Limelight, but I really and truly, honestly, for this museum, I'm happy to cede it to anything that is best, because at the end of the day, I want this to last forever. I want Island Space to be something that we can celebrate long beyond my lifetime. I want, when I have lived and passed away, that the work and the celebration of this, what we have started, can continue to go on ad nauseum. I really want people to embrace that. And so part of why we ask for you to give is because we want this work to continue. We want that there are many other people who will benefit. And if you are able to, I would encourage you to give on a continual basis. So not just to give the $1,000 or the $100, but to give it on a monthly basis, or to give it in such a way that we will continue to see the benefit for a long time. Whatever it is that you can afford, that's within your budget. For example, Khalid mentioned that I've given so many times, so many ways. Even sometimes I vex because I pay for something with my money and I can't even get it back because the museum don't have it. But those are early days. Hopefully, we can thrive now in a much different way. But I want everyone to understand that it is a continuous struggle. there is not a time that we're not looking to raise funds because the work to continue the work, we have salaries, we have rent, we have recurring bills that all must be paid. We don't just own the space outright. We have to pay our landlord rent, and the utilities have to be paid for. Go ahead, Khalid.
I'm glad you said that because even though this is Give Miami Day and even though we are still in the young part of our progress, Likobotitalo, I mean, that's a Jamaican saying that I think many people know. We have fought through and made our way to our 5th year. I firmly believe that we are in the growth phase now where we will become sustainable. We will find those donors who are comfortable and confident with the work that we're doing and are happy to commit those $10,000 a year, $25,000 a year, etc., to make sure that we are sustainable and don't have to maybe struggle in the ways that we have before. And, as we move into that next phase of our growth, we are also starting a capital campaign, right? So you talked about not owning the building where we are. That is a goal of ours within the next 2 to 3 years. We want to be in our own physical space where we can, host the large events. If we can't host the big old ones indoors, at least we have an indoor outdoor space that we can open up and feel. I have so many ideas, right? But very importantly, if this is something that you would like to help us with, we're also going to just invite you to help with fundraising, sit on a committee with us, sit on the capital campaign committee. If you know a piece of land that might be a good large piece of land for us with parking and space and what have you, buy a brick. Brick start at $500. You will have your name emblazoned in that building for all eternity. If you buy a brick even from now, they start at 500, go up to 5,000, and obviously you have naming opportunities and so on if you have a lot more than that. And just there's so much that we need. There's so much that we want our community to engage with us to do. Become a volunteer, become a member, apply to become a board member. However you can help or however you want to get involved, be a partner with us. If you have events or ideas that you would like to execute at the museum that are about celebrating our culture, reach out to us, reach out to me, to David, to Mandy, any member of the board, etc. We're gone over the time by 3 minutes.
Long
David,
over, long over. That's fine. Listen, I believe it's important that we have overtime. That's how it is when you play any sport and it's not settled and you get a little extra time. So our little extra time is fine.
yeah,
I'm happy just to report that up to a few minutes ago, we see that we're still getting
don't.
donations.
And you can
You
give until midnight, right? Give if you gave already and you're moved by what we have said, please give again.
Please do. And even if you can't give again, ask somebody else to give. We
Yes.
all know people like Khalib, our fearless leader in this regard. She's the executive director. She asked all the board members this morning to ask 30 people. I probably asked about 60, but I'm sure only about 20 of the 60 gave. No, and maybe a little more. But whatever it is, I genuinely would say to you, not everybody will give, but it's best to ask because some people I didn't really believe would give. And I
Yeah.
was happily surprised to see some people who were giving for the first time. So thank you to all who have given. Thank you
Yeah.
if you have already given, but also ask somebody else. Even if you ask three people to give, that would be wonderful. Those three people can extend your impact.
Absolutely. The giving continues until midnight tonight. Please, that don't mean you wait until midnight to give. Please give now and then ask your friends to give as well. Your friends and family, stick them up, right? If you need to. But yes, David,
I,
you're gonna say.
I'll add one little thing here because I was scrolling through the giving list and I see names, but one of the names I think is very important. There's a name called Anonymous. You don't have to let anybody know you're giving. So if you're ashamed to only give $200, go ahead and give it. Nobody has to know. You can click on the anonymous button so nobody else have to know.
I
I,
gave the second donation this morning. It said $50, and I don't know why I clicked anonymous. I wanted it to say for No, I wanted it to say in honor of Clover Thompson, and
and
it
it
didn't
did.
say in honor. I didn't want it to be about me. I wanted it to be about Clover, and for
But
whatever reason, it never said Clover either. So,
no,
but whatever.
Okay, I thought it did say Clover. On the back end, it said Clover. I saw that.
Yeah.
Come in.
It didn't say it up front.
Anonymous for Clover.
Yeah.
For Clover. But
Yes.
yeah, anonymous is allowed. If you don't want to tell everybody what you're giving, you can click anonymous. But don't let that stop you from giving.
All right. And for those of you who have rode out these 35 fabulous minutes with us, thank you so much for sticking around. Please share this message with others. Encourage others to visit islandspacefl.org/Give Miami Day. It will take you right over to our Give Miami Day page where you can donate your 100 or your 250 or your 500. Or as David says, your $25. We appreciate those as well. I have to pay the bills, so I gotta ask for all I'm gonna ask for. But thank you, everybody. David, you want to say a final word?
No, just thank you to everybody for cheering and asking others to participate in your giving. Give Miami Day ends today. So it's not like you can say, tomorrow I'm going to give a money. It's today, today, today. Please, thanks and honor to everybody who has given. That's all
Stephanie,
from me.
last word goes to
Stephanie,
you.
any words?
Nope. Okay. All right. Stephanie went. All right. Well, thank
All
you
right.
all, and keep on giving. See you at the museum sometime soon.